we're in Illustrator right now, and you're probably working on your pen tool basics project. So I want to show you a little bit about how to do only one of these requirements. In fact, we're going to make a shape somewhat transparent or partially opaque, and we'll see that it is because it's in front of another shape. So here we go over to Illustrator. I have a few different objects that are situated up here. I've got this red triangle in front of these two green objects, and really want to change the opacity of this. I probably already said opacity and transparency, and that's because these two ideas are related. In fact, they're inversely related. So the opposite of transparency is opacity. If I go over to a control right here, you can see that it's called the transparency. And if I go click on that, the thing that I'm changing inside transparency says opacity. So I could go click on opacity. At 100% opacity, it is 0% transparent. If I start to change the opacity down, it is somewhat transparent. Another place that I could change opacity really easily is just in this appearance field when I have pretty much the same control. If you're working in Workspace Essentials Classic, you'll also see an opacity control on the top. Alright, if you want more control about how transparency and opacity work, you can change the mode. So in normal mode, it works about like this, but let's see, you can turn it to a mode that only lightens the object behind the transparent object. You can try things like overlay or multiply, and then your transparency or opacity would work in different ways. But just to get the idea across, I'd probably stay in normal. I'd turn it down a little bit, and I want you to see that one thing about Illustrator you probably didn't think of. If we go to View, we're going to go Show the Transparency Grid. So this has everything to do with what we're talking about. What we're actually doing is working in front of a transparent surface instead of a white surface. Even though the artboard looks white most of the time, when we export this project, we're going to see transparency around all of those shapes anyway. If that's too difficult to conceptualize while you're working on it, we can always go to View and hide the transparency grid. Make it a little easier on yourself. I'll see you on the next one.